Hello, good folks. It's time for another recipe from the kitchen of South Alabama Cooking. And today I'm going to be making a homemade lemon meringue pie. Now I have my Southern Living cookbook that I've shown y'all several times, and the Vintage Bungalow. You will be interested in this. You told me that you found you a cookbook like this. This recipe for lemon meringue pie comes from this cookbook, and it is on page 321. So I thought you might want to look at that. Also, Kirsten Richards, you told me that lemon meringue pie is your favorite. So hopefully you will enjoy this video. So first of all, we want to start with our homemade Never Fail pie crust. And I've already got the pie crust mixed up, and I'm going to roll it out for you and show you how to put it in my pie plate. So we're around over here on the bar. And if you want to know how to make this Never Fail pie crust, look on my channel for the video that says Never Fail pie crust, and that will show you how to make this pie crust. All right, I'm going to put a little flour out on my counter here. Let me scoot it this away some so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to roll our pie crust dough out. Going to knead this just a little bit so that it will hold together better. This is a very delicate pie crust, and you have to be really careful with it. But it is very, very good. Makes a delicious pie crust. Now, if you don't want to make your pie crust, you can go to the store and just buy you a frozen pie crust. Or you can buy a pie crust that's in a roll, I believe, in the refrigerated section. I would just buy one that is a good name brand, and that's going to probably maybe work better for you. All right, we're going to start rolling this out. I've got a little piece here that doesn't seem to want to work. Let me just kind of pull that off, set it to the side, kind of reshape this. All right, and you need to keep both sides of your pie crust floured so that your rolling pin won't stick to it, and hopefully it won't stick to the counter. But this pie crust it usually sticks to my counter, so I usually have to get a spatula and get it up off my counter. All right, we're just going to roll this out, kind of roll it in a circle shape as much as I can to fit my pie crust, to fit my pie plate, the shape of my pie plate. And this is going to be a good bit more than what I need, so I will just trim the edges once I get it in my pie plate. You want it to be about maybe 1/4 inch thick, something like that. Let me get my spatula. I can use this spatula to slide up under it. Let's see what it looks like. All right, that's looking nice. Let me roll it out a little bit more in the middle. It seems to be just a little bit thicker in the middle. All right, we're going to go with this. Let's see how much bigger it is than my pie plate. It's a good bit bigger than my pie plate. So I'm just going to trim the edges some right now. Let me just get this little knife and kind of cut the edges some so that I won't have so much to deal with, and it'll be a little bit easier to handle. See, I'm just trimming it off some. Okay, let's see what that looks like. All righty, that's great. Now, let Let me use my spatula, slide up under it, get it loose from the counter. See, it's sticking a little bit right there. We've got a little crack in it right here, but that's okay. You can just stick it back together once you get it in place. All right, did you see me tri-fold this? I folded it in a tri-fold. Now, let me scoot some of this stuff over. Let's get some of this flour out of the way so that I can scoot my pie plate a little bit closer where you can see what I'm doing. All right, now, let's scoot this right here. Now, I'm going to lay this pie crust over in my pie plate. Here's the edge right here, so I'm going to have that right over the edge of the pie plate like that. And we're going to roll the rest of this out. See how that rolls out just so easily when you have it folded like that? Okay, let's make sure that it's down in there good like it needs to be. And here's where our pie crust is torn a little bit, but you can just take your fingers and just press that back together, and that's no problem. Now, what I want to do is I want to take the edges of this pie crust, and I'm going to pinch them up together. See, look, I'm going to fold this under, kind of folding the pie crust under right here just a little bit where it's lapping over. Okay, and this is a little bit too much lapping right here, so I'll just kind of cut that off a little bit. Fold it under. Just like this. We're going to do this all of the way around. Just turn it around. Just fold it under a little bit. We're going to make a cute little design. Okay, this is a little bit too much right here. Let me trim some of it off. We're going to make a cute little design here. Okay. Trying to make sure y'all can still see me. See what I'm doing here. Let's trim this up just a tad more as I go around the edges. We're just folding it under a little bit. You want your pie crust to stand up higher than your pie plate. See how I've got it up higher than my pie plate? Because when you bake this pie crust, it's going to shrink some. So it will shrink down and it won't stand up as high on the sides. So make sure you got it sticking up higher than the pie plate. Okay, this is where I had the little split in my pie crust. I'm trying to work with it and get it to stick together. There we go. Let's come on around here. Trim this just a little more. We're going to have us a show enough fine homemade pie crust. All right, let's see. Let me add a little dough right here. This is just not enough dough to be doing like I want it to do. So see, you can just do that. You can add and subtract dough just however you need to do it to fix this pie crust like you want it to be. I just took another piece. I'm just pressing it in there into place so that my pie crust is up higher than my pie plate. Okay. Now we're going to do the design, and I'm just going to take my two first fingers, my two thumbs, and I'm just going to press this and just kind of twist it with my fingers and my thumbs, bend it, and just make a cute little pie crust edge here. Makes it cute. Somebody showed me how to do this years ago. I wish I could remember who the lady was that showed me how to do this, and I cannot remember who it is. But that was a nice little tip that some lady showed me how to do. And that's a lot of fun about cooking is just interacting with other people who love to cook, and they will give you tips that they use in their cooking. And over a period of years, as you do that, and then you share your tips too, you know, then you just have a lot of cute little ideas and things that you have gathered from other people, and also a lot of the techniques that I have in my cooking I learned on my own. It was from trial and error. I would try this and maybe it didn't work exactly like I wanted it to, and I would just experiment until I got things like I wanted them to be, until I got a recipe to turn out like I wanted it to. Okay, we've got this. Now look at here. Can you see that? All right, isn't that cute? Now, I've got my oven heated up to 400 degrees, and we're going to put this in my oven. I've got it on bake 400, and we're going to let this pie crust brown. But I just thought about something. Hold it. I've got to, let me get a fork. I need to prick this pie crust with this fork so that as it bakes and steam forms, that it will keep my pie crust from bubbling up. I don't want my pie crust to bubble. So this will help my pie crust not to bubble up. And let me just kind of do it on the sides a little bit too. And we are almost ready to put this in the oven. There we go. We're ready to go. This will take in between 10 and 15 minutes for that to cook. Now, let me get around here. Let me rinse my hands off. And the next thing we're going to do, well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer, because if I don't, I'm liable to forget that pie crust and end up with a burnt pie crust. So let me look right here at my kitchen timer, and I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. All right, that has started. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to try to move this tripod to a different place and show you how to make our filling. So we're moving over here. Already got all my ingredients over here ready to go. All right, there's my boiler right there. Let's see if I can scoot up just a little bit more on it. Move all of my ingredients around here. Scoot up just a little bit more. All right, there we go. Now we're going to start with our filling. Let me go get my cookbook. All right, got my cookbook. So let me look at my measurements here. I'm going to need 1 cup of sugar. Let me get that in the boiler. Okay, can you see it? No, let's get it around here where you can see it. All right, there we go. 1 cup of sugar. This is a 1/2 cup measurer, so I'll put 2 of these in there. That will equal 1 cup. All right. Now the next thing we want to add is our cornstarch. I've already got that measured out. I need 1/3 cup of cornstarch. So here this is. We'll put that in there. Now, we're going to stir this up, kind of get the cornstarch and the sugar incorporated together, and that will help when we get ready to pour our water in. That will help the cornstarch not to lump all up if we already have it mixed up into the sugar. we'll just mix this up. Take maybe a minute to get it mixed up. And then we can add our water. And we'll slowly add that water, and that will also help it to not lump up so bad with the cornstarch. Although cornstarch is much easier to work with than flour. If you're trying to add flour and mix it up with water, flour is going to lump a whole lot easier than cornstarch. Cornstarch is not that bad. Okay, I have 1 1/2 cup of water right here. Now the recipe says hot water. I really don't think that makes any difference. So this is just water out of the tap. I'm going to pour a little bit in and just start stirring it in. The only thing that I can see that the hot water would make a difference in is that it just gives you a head start on the cooking process. That's the only thing I can see that would make any difference. Okay, that has just stirred in very well. See that? And not having any lumping issues. So we should be able to go ahead and just pour this water in here and turn our burner on, and we're going to let this start cooking. Okay, so there's the 1 1/2 cup of water. Let's turn our burner on. We're going to turn it on about medium high. And we've got to cook this until it thickens up. And just get it all stirred up real good. All right, now while that is cooking and thickening up, I'm going to separate my eggs. I need 3 egg yolks. I'm going to actually use 3 egg yolks for the pudding, and I'm going to use 4 egg whites for the meringue, and that makes just a little more meringue, and I like that. I like to have a little more meringue than what 3 egg whites make. So let's get around here and look. I'm going to put my egg yolks in this bowl right here. Scoot this back so you can see what I'm doing. I'll put my egg yolks in this bowl. I'll put my egg whites in this bowl because this is my mixing bowl that I'm going to make the meringue in. So let's get our eggs. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to separate eggs. Show you how to do that. You're just going to crack your egg, just like that. See that? Can you see how I've got it cracked? I'm not sure I'm trying to see. Okay, right there. Then stick your thumbs in there and pull this apart, okay? I'm going to let this egg white just drop right down in here in my mixing bowl. Just pour that egg back and forth between the 2 shells that you've got here, and that egg white will just drain right off of your egg yellow. All right, so we've got 1 egg yolk, and I'm going to set this one, I'm not going to put it in here, I'm going to set this one aside because I only need 3 egg yolks. So I put that in just a little bowl. And I scrape out the egg shells to get all of the white out. All right, got that. Let's look here and see what's going on here. Okay, everything's good. It's not trying to thicken up yet. Let's get back around here to our eggs. All right. Now, these next 3 eggs are the ones that we're going to use, the yolks, to go in our pie filling. Okay, I've broken that one apart. Here we go. We are... Okay, that one's trying to... My egg yolk busted on that one, so I had to hurry up and just get it over in my bowl that I wanted the yolk in before it fell all in here in my mixing bowl. So sometimes that will happen. Sometimes you'll have an egg yolk that will break. Might get a little bit of yolk in with your whites, and you can just kind of spoon that out with a spoon. And I think I've got just a little spot of egg yolk in my egg whites. I'll have to get a spoon and get that out and dip that out. Okay, there's my second yolk. Scraping that out. See, there's extra egg white there that I'm getting out. Okay, how many more have I got? I've got one more. Hooray. Okay, let's do this last one. You can use an egg separator, and I've got 1 or 2 laying around, but I've just always done it this way, and this is just simple for me. And so this is what I do. All right, here's our other yolk. We've got our 3 yolks there. I hear my pot over here heating up, so I'm going to need to get back to it and start stirring it. All right, I've got that. Now, I'm just going to scoop this over, scoop both of these over. I don't want my egg yolks to be close to this heat over here because it'll cook them in this pan here, in this bowl, and I don't want them cooked. Let me rinse my hands off. All right. Let's scoot back over here where you can see this. All right, let's see what this is doing. This is starting to thicken up just a little bit. All right, that's great. That's good. Okay, I've stirred it good. Now, let me get a spoon, and I'm going to dip this little bit of egg yolk out of my mixing bowl that got in there. And my timer just went off, so I've got to check my pie crust. Let's turn around here. Let's get a look at this pie crust. See if it's ready. It's been cooking for 10 minutes. Okay, it's not ready. Let me show it to you. See, it's not brown yet, so we're going to cook it a few more minutes. I'll put it on for maybe 3 more minutes, and we'll see what it looks like in 3 minutes. Let me set the timer. All right, there goes the timer. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to try to get this egg yolk out of the egg white. I'm trying to keep my camera straight here too. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to get this out. I don't know if you can see it. There's just the littlest bit of egg yolk. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it, I don't think. Little bit of egg yolk right here. And I'm just going to, look at there, see that? You see that? And I'm going to put it over there with my egg yolks. There we go. Still just a little bit more. Let me get here in the light where I can see what I'm doing. All right. Okay, now some of the egg yolk has gotten on the side of the bowl here. I'm just going to take a paper towel, reach down in there, and wipe that out. And this is how you fix this. Whenever you get yolk mixed in with your whites, this is the way to fix it, just like this. Okay, we've got that fixed, and I hear this bubbling here in the boiler. It's thickening up, so let's get to stirring on this. Let me scoot you a little closer. All right, here we go. Good. This is looking good. This is great. Okay, good. It's thickening up real good. I'll show it to you here in just a minute. This is doing what it's supposed to do. And that is great. Okay, see that? That is our good thick mixture right there. All right, let me set that over to the side for a minute. Now, we've got these egg yolks here. I want to just kind of beat them up just a little bit. And what we're going to need to do, I'm going to pick out just this little piece of white stuff right here. I'm going to pick that out. Set it to the side. Now, we don't want to just pour these egg yolks into this boiler because it will cause the egg yolks to cook and to turn to scrambled eggs. And this recipe does not call for scrambled eggs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of this mixture right here, put it in this bowl and stir it up, and that will mix in with these eggs, and then we will be able to pour all of this back into the boiler, and our eggs will not be scrambled, will not be cooked. Okay, so, and you have to kind of do this kind of fast, because as soon as I put a glob of this in here, this is a hot mixture going into these egg yolks. You got to go ahead and start stirring it up, stirring it up, stirring it up, so that your egg yolks don't cook. All right, our timer's gone off again. Let's check this pie crust. Okay, looking, it's a little more done. I think we need to cook it maybe about 2 more minutes. See that? Can you see that it's getting dark on the edges a little bit? Let's cook it about 2 more minutes. And we need our pie crust needs to be cooked because this pie, we're making the filling on the stove, so the filling's going to be cooked once we pour it into the pie, and then we'll just have to brown the meringue, and that only takes a minute or 2. So we need to have a cooked pie crust. Okay, let me set my timer. All right, got that going for 2 minutes. Now let's see if we can work on this while I'm waiting on that. All right, here we go. I'm going to put some of this in here. Put a little bit in. It's really hot stuff. And then we'll start stirring it. There we go. That's working. That's working. That's good. All right. Get that stirred up real good. We'll put a little more in. Stir that up. Okay, we're going to put some more in. Put another spoonful in. Stir it all up. We'll be almost ready to pour this back into our boiler. Okay, let's put just a little more in. The recipe says to put in half of your mixture that's in the boiler, to stir in half of it into your egg yolks. All right, can y'all see that? That's starting to look like a lemon pie, ain't it? But we haven't added any lemon yet. And that will be coming here shortly. Now we're just pouring all of this into the boiler. I'm trying to turn it where you can see it. I'm a left-hander, and so I'm using, the spoon is in my left hand. Makes it kind of difficult for y'all to see what I'm doing here. Oh boy, and there goes my pie crust. Okay, let's get this scraped out quickly. As quickly as I can. I like to get everything out of my bowl as much as I can. so that nothing is lost, so that everything is used. All right, we've got that. Let's see, let's get this off of the spoon. Let's get it down in there. Hope my pie crust is not burning while I'm doing this. I got that. Now let's get this off of the spoon right here. Get that down in there. Okay. All right, let's check the pie crust real quick. See if it's ready, see if it's ready, see if it's ready. Ooh, it's ready, I think. Let's see. Let me take a look. You know what? I think I still need to cook it a little bit longer. The bottom of the crust is, well, it's starting to look a little brown. Let me feel of it. Okay. That was good. I think I'll cook it, maybe we'll give it another minute, okay? Set the timer for 1 minute. All right, there we go. Now let's turn back around here to the boiler. Let's put this back on the burner. Stir this all up real good, and this is going to cook the egg for us now into our mixture. This will cook our egg. We let this go back to boiling and boil it for about a minute. I think I saw a few bubbles here. Yeah, it's starting to bubble a little bit. Just give this egg time to cook now. Oh, there's my pie crust again. That minute passed by quickly. All right, let's check the pie crust. Maybe it's like we want it now. Oh yeah, this is great. This is good. Pie crust is ready to go. Turn my oven off. Okay, look at here. See the pie crust? See how it's brown on the edges and a little bit of brown in the bottom? But something else I want to show you too. Look how much this pie crust has shrank. See there? Where it was above the edge of the pie plate. Here it is down below the edge now. So you need to make sure that you have the edges of your pie crust up high enough that when it shrinks, you've still got enough pie crust. So we'll set that right there on the back burner. Let's look at this. All right, good. Let me stir this up. Pick it up off the burner. Okay, now this is ready. The next thing we want to do is we want to add our last ingredients in here, which are butter. Let me see, let me make sure I got this right. Butter and lemon juice. These are the last two ingredients we want to add. So we need 3 tablespoons of butter. Now, and I use real butter. And see these markings on the side? This is marked off in tablespoons. From one mark to the next mark is 1 tablespoon. So I'm needing 3 tablespoons. So I'm going to measure out 3 tablespoons and put it in here. All right, here's my 3 tablespoons of butter. Now the next thing we need is 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I've got this real lemon juice. This is what I like to buy and use. I like to buy this brand, Real Lemon. It's a good quality, and so this is what I use. All right, we need 4 tablespoons. Here's my tablespoon. We're just going to fill it up 4 times. And we will have our lemon juice in. And we will almost have this pie filling made. All right. Now, this is going to have to go back on the burner. But let me stir it just a little bit right here first. This is going to have to go back on the burner and cook another minute or two. Just kind of get this stuff stirred up in it. This butter and lemon juice will kind of get it stirred up in there and then put it back on the burner. All right, we're going to slide it on the burner. Not all of the butter is melted yet, but it's good enough. Let's stir this. Let it cook another minute or two. Now, you can buy, the Jell-O lemon pudding and pie filling, the cook and serve. And I just to be very honest, I really don't know what it would taste like because I've not ever done that. So I really don't know what it would taste like. But I suppose that would be an option. Okay, let's turn back around here. And there have been times that I have tasted store-bought pies, store-bought lemon meringue pies, and it was supposed to be a lemon meringue pie, but it tasted nothing like lemon. And I don't know what was up with that. I really don't know what was going on with that and what was up with it, but a store-bought lemon meringue pie is just no good. But now this one tastes like lemon. And so I know some people don't like lemon. They don't like lemon flavor. So they're not going to like a lemon pie. But if you are a lemon person, if you like lemon flavor, you'll like this pie. Okay, now this recipe does not call for vanilla flavoring or lemon flavoring. Now, Vintage Bungalow, when you look in your cookbook, you will see that the recipe calls for grated lemon rind. And I didn't put that in here. I don't have any grated lemon rind with me. And most of the time that I've made this pie, I've never put grated lemon rind in it. I have a time or two, and I couldn't tell that it made it any better or any worse. So I just don't worry about the lemon rind. Okay, let me make sure that's okay. Yes, all right. All right, that should have it. And we should be ready to put this into our pie crust, which is right back over here. I was about to touch that. It would have probably burnt me. So let's put it like that. Let's turn this front burner off. Now, I'm going to pour this into this pie crust. Take the last little bit out. And I'm going to leave a little bit because I want to taste it. I want to lick the spoon. So I'm going to leave just a little bit in here to taste. All right. We'll taste it, see what it tastes like. Don't y'all be jealous now because you see me eating this. That's good. Okay, our next step Ow, I bit my tongue. Our next step is to make the meringue. So we'll get started on that. So we're going to have to move back over to the counter. Well, I have not cleaned my counter up yet. So maybe we'll, trying to think. Okay, I will pause, clean my counter up, and I'll be back. Okay, here we are. I've got my mixing bowl on the mixer. Now we've got 4 egg whites in here. And to make our meringue, you need to add 2 tablespoons of sugar for every egg white. So since we've got 4 egg whites, that is going to be 8 tablespoons of sugar. So let's put that in here. All right, now we want to add a little cream of tartar. Let me go get me a little measuring spoon. I'm going to add 1 heaping 1/4 measuring spoon. This is a 1/4 measuring spoon, and I'm going to heap it up with cream of tartar. Put that in there. All right, got that. Now, you want to put this beater on here. This is the one you're going to need to beat your egg whites. Turn it on, and we're going to let it whip up these egg whites. All right, we're going to turn it on high. All right, our egg whites are whipped up real good. Okay. Scoop this out of the way. Now here's my pie. And we've got the sun shining in the kitchen window. The sun's over in the west now, shining in, so I hope y'all can see this. I'll get this meringue put on this pie. I'm about to get it all out of here. All right. Let's scrape it off of the spatula. And let's get this all spread out. Kind of spreading it out a little wider than what the crust is, because this meringue will shrink as well. The pie crust shrinks when you bake it, and this meringue will shrink as well. So I want it to be a little over the edges of the pie crust, so that hopefully when it shrinks, it won't leave a crack around the edge between the meringue and the crust. All right, got it kind of spread out here. Let's just kind of try to make some pretty designs. Let me see what I'm doing. I think you can. Got a little place right here I need to work on. Let me work on this a little bit. All right. Okay, I think we'll go with that. Let's put it in the oven. Our oven is on bake 400. Let's open it up. Get our pie slided in. It'll probably take a couple of minutes for the meringue to brown. Then I'll pull it out and I'll show it to you. All right, the meringue is browned and it's ready. See how pretty that is? Mm-hmm. I hope y'all have enjoyed me demonstrating this recipe for you, how to make lemon meringue pie, and I hope y'all come back to see me real soon. Okay, everybody, I'm very proud of the meringue on this lemon pie. I've been having difficulty with my meringue shrinking and leaving a crack between the crust and the meringue. But on this one, there is no crack there. And I am very proud of that. And what I have done is, when I put the meringue on, I just spread it out over the pie crust, wider than the pie crust. And then when I bake it and then cool it, if the meringue does shrink any, it doesn't shrink enough to leave a crack. So I am happy about that.